Greetings, y'all. Greetings. Greetings to all the beloved across the realm. And as always and always, Mësët. I'm going to give it a moment. Got to grab something real quick, and then we will commence. Royce, when you're done, put your towel in the dryer. All right. Back like we never left. Back like we never left. Okay. We're going to get this reunion started. Okay. I'm going to jump right into it. So for those that come in late, they can just watch it on the rewatch. Anything that you miss, not going to waste too long of a moment. So I already said it even before anyone was in here, but I'll say it again for those that are entering, coming on in. Greetings, glad tidings to all the beloved across the realm. And as always and always, Mësët. If you're new here and you don't know what that means, the best way I can translate into English language would be love, balance, and wholeness be within you in all that you love. Okay. This is a Unami clan word, which I am what is called the Sagamore of the Unami clan of the Lenape tribe, which is under the Algonquin nation. But because of my mixed lineage, I'm also the head chief priest of the what is known as the Hopewell tribe. And the Lenape and the Hopewell intertwined. The Lenape intertwined with many different tribes. Okay. But Lenape literally means if you look it up, it'll say the original people, but that was a colonizer translation. It meant the grandfather tribe, pretty much one of the oldest tribes on the land that is known. Okay. So naturally, if you're one of the oldest tribes on the land, you're going to intermingle with other tribes, and that's pretty much what happened. But so Mësët or Mësët is a Unami word. So if you look it up, it's going to tell you the Muncie dialect, which is the Wolf Clan. It's still Lenape. It's just the Wolf Clan. It's the Northern Clan. That's up going into New York, and a lot of them went into Canada. And Mësët in the Muncie dialect means sturdy or solid or reliable, pretty much. So Unami is the Turtle Clan. Okay. And Priestley clan. So those three different clans. Okay. Compared to someone like the Powhatans, who are my in-laws. they had 30 clans, okay, stemming out of what is known as Eastern Richmond, Virginia today. But the Powhatans came into Eastern Shore, Maryland, and also into what we know today as Delaware, which the original word for Delaware is Lenapehoking. That's how we would be pronounced, Lenapehoking. Okay, but anyway, that's not what this teaching is about. Just wanted to give you, because a lot of people that come along don't know, and I even had someone on a particular page that I promised I wouldn't speak about any longer. Someone sent me and I know people, I can discern if people are trying to stir up trouble or if they're just genuine, like, hey, Chief, look, someone has sent me a screenshot and this particular person, I know who they are. They left a whole long comment accusing me of making up my own language or something to that nature. Unami is 13,000 years old. Okay. It's considered a dead language, so I am one of the only ones on the land keeping it alive. Okay. There's some elders that speak it fluently, and I wouldn't say I speak it fluently, but I know enough to hold a conversation. All right. Anyway, let's get started. My son is in the shot, getting in and out of the shower and getting dressed and stuff. So you will have to excuse me. With this teaching, I may have to turn the camera off if I'm not sharing, screen sharing and things like that. So I don't want you to think like, what's going on? What with Chief? This is just out of respect because my son might be walking back and forth back here or something. So that's why. So yeah, just like Astro Plane said, let's boogie, let's get it. So that being said, like I just said, just until he gets situated, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this camera. Hold on, my eldest son isn't here, so I don't. Okay, there we go. All right. All right. So the title, I really didn't know what to name it because we're gonna touch on a lot of things. Okay. It could go under the Saturn. Nine. Stop, baby. It could go under the Saturnal Order teachings. It could go under the Zodiac teachings. So it could go under Anunnaki. You know, I'm just gonna let the Great Spirit flow. Afterwards, I'll probably go back and rename it to whatever the prevalent message is. So first, this is what I'm going to start out. I'm going to read you some information about the Sumerian tablets. Okay. And this is, I have to build the foundation for y'all to get where we're going with this particular journey. So there's a South African researcher named Johan Hein or Hein. And they basically found new evidence that human civilization is far older than previously believed. Okay, so those that know, and this is nothing new. I've been teaching you all this since I've been teaching. We are in a cycle that is called the analemma. Okay, Well, that's the construct of it. So let me bring it up real quick. This is time right here, okay? On many different scales. So give me a second. Screen, share screen. Okay. Okay. Let me make sure. Are y'all seeing that? Okay. Great. So this is the analemma. Most of you know it by now. The sun and the moon both move in this way. It's a necktie. Okay. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Gratitude, brother John. So this is the zodiac. This is the precession of the equinoxes. This right here is it. Okay, this is what time looks like. Okay, red shift, blue shift, 1,000-year reign of Christ. I guess that's what we say now in this particular month. Well, most say. Okay, the millennial reign of Christ, the golden age, many different names. That's this little thing right here. It's the side turn or the U-turns where the two become one. It's the age of no sun. But when you get here, you have a huge cataclysm. It's the red shift, blue shift, the red Kachina, blue Kachina, and it's a whole flip because one group is either going to go this way and go back into the what we would call matrix, the Vedic or the Hindus would call samsara. It's back into the reincarnation cycle. That's the Saturn. So there's right here when the two become one, the ancient Sa. Let's go ahead and look that up real quick. Let me show you what the Sa looks like. It's this is the Sa. Okay. This is in many, many, many different hieroglyphs with the so-called netters or gods, or as you can see, look, it looks similar to the Ankh or the Squatter Man. Why? Why would this? Okay, now let's see. Sa hieroglyph Shamash. Look what Shamash got in his hand. You see what what happened? Look what Shamash. This is where this is the God that beat Yahweh in his own book. Here's the burning bush. Okay. Here's the workers. Here is the Elohim. Okay. Here is Shamash holding the Sa. All right. Shamash is also Ishtar or Inanna's brother, twin brother. It's always twins. Now here's Inanna. There's this right here has to do with the all-seeing eye. So or Ra, and over here is El. So Isis, Ra, and El, and this so-called Hebrew Israelites probably don't even know what any of this is. Here's your two cherubim that he's sitting on. You know, the earth is his footstool, and he's guarded by the cherubim. This is all supposed to tell you a story. Okay? This is all telling you a story. Here they all come bringing something, praising him as a god. Well, I'll jump right into it. These are the elites who are here now. Okay, the Anuna never left because they're stuck. They're not leaving anywhere. They're stuck in reincarnation cycles. They have found out how to. Oh wait, can y'all even see it? Because I opened up a new thing. Probably it's probably not letting you see it. Hold on. So let me go back here. Y'all probably didn't see that. Oh, y'all did? Okay, cool. So y'all can see the big, when I click off of the small pictures, y'all can actually see the big one that I zoomed in on. Just want to make sure that you can see the big picture that I zoomed in on. Okay, so that's what I thought. Y'all seeing this one. So I think I gotta do this. Hold on. Okay. Right here's the Psi. Okay, this is Shamash, the sun god. There's Isis. All right, which is, people say it's the moon, but really it's Venus. The Venus was here and far before the moon. The moon actually mirrors the cycles of Venus. Venus has 14 different cycles, just like the moon does. So when they talk about Isis and Osiris getting chopped up in 14 pieces, it's actually the reflection of Isis. Okay, that was the moon. And so that in the Bible is told about Eve, and now she will have menstrual cycles and menstruation, and will have birth pains and this and that. When prior to that, woman, the womb man, could manifest through the womb whenever she was in alignment with her true will of the soul. You could manifest. See, these beings have cut the umbilical cord to the great mother. So what do they need to manifest? Technology. That's all this is. The Greek word for it is techne. Techne is idolatry. It literally means idolatry. So all technology is idolatry. It's the creation of the creation. It's created by the creation. So that's what deems it artificial. Okay, because we all have God power, but we are supposed to maintain a universal law within the organic, the origin energy, the A tone, the alpha tone of the mind power. Okay, the word man simply means manifestation. That power has been that authority has not been fully taken from us. It has a delay mechanism on it. The delay mechanism is the moon. Okay, that is the delay manifestation mechanism. All right, that is why the master mason, Mama, has to go through the birthing pains and the menstrual cycle. It's all about men. What does that mean? It's the masculine energy that did this. First, it was double masculine. Now it's triple. It started out as two brothers. That's the story of the double masculine putting on the scales of my eye, outweighing the heart. Double masculine. Okay. They got the two lions in a box right here in the cube. The lions represented the lioness, not the male lion. It was the lioness. The lion represented the feminine energy. This goes back to even on Turtle Island, the native cultures. So this person is sitting on two lions as they've conquered them. Every picture that they show. Let me see. How can I look something up? All right. Every picture that they show in the ancient glyphs, they're stomping on a lion. Okay. Samson is killing lions and this and that. It's about the feminine energy. Samson is just a anagram for Masons. This was everything that actually had truth in it at one point gets hijacked. It doesn't matter what it is. Ancient Egypt had truth in it with the eye of Horus, the high Ra. It was not malevolent when it first came out because it comes from the feminine energy. Everything that's here is created by feminine energy, even if it comes out of a man. Don't get it misconstrued. It's not about man and woman. Feminine energy is, in the simplest word, is intuition. That would be the most, if I had to put it in one word, it'd be intuition. Okay. And the masculine energy would be intellect. So when it's sacred and in alignment, the intellect is supposed to interpret the intuition. So the creative energy is the feminine energy. That's the dreamer. That's the magi nation, the wise dome, the wisdom. The masculine energy is the knowledge. It knows no ledge. It keeps going and going and going and going. It's never ending thoughts into the future. It overthinks and overanalyzes and all of that. Okay? It's no ledge. There's no ledge to the tree of knowledge. That's the allegorical story, the parables. They tell you Jesus spoke in parables. The Bible, two bowls, parables, two bowls. There's a bowl above and a bowl below. Above, below, below, above. That's Abba. They call it the Father. Okay? But Christ in the biblical version never used the word Father. It was pater. Pater. And that goes back to Ptah in ancient Egypt. Now we're gonna get into it, but it's a neutral term, and it actually the origin comes from feminine, but it's a natural term that just means the origin. It doesn't. So all these things you're telling that they're telling you that he always said, "I and the Father are one." Me and the Father. It's not what he was saying. Okay, in the Greek, it's the pater. It's the one that is on the potter's wheel. Well, guess what pottery was back then? It was mainly bowls and vases. A vase or a vase. That represented the feminine energy. Okay? That is the age of Aquarius we're coming into. It's the rise of the feminine energy. What does that mean? It means knowing again, not beliving in all these the no ledge. There's no ledge to all the knowledge. the college, the collage that you have to. How do you pay to go to college? Which is just another word for collage. What's a collage? It's a bunch of everything just put together. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of thoughts, and it's up to you to put it together and align it. How would you do that? You have to align it with feminine energy. All right. So you go to college or the collage, and how do you pay for college? Intuition. It's all in their Babylonian doublespeak, lesser magic words. You pay for the collage, the tree of knowledge, intuition. So you give up your intuition to live your entire life off of logic, like a computer, so much so that people really think that they're in a computer game or something now. You know, okay, just because I mentioned, let me be clear. Just because I mentioned simulation or computer, I'm not attacking any particular person. Let me just put that out there. All right, it's well known. Many pages are on YouTube today that are pushing that. But yeah, so that's the Saturn. That's the side right there. And you see the two lines under the cube, sitting on them, conquered them. Am I still sharing that? Nope, I'm not. See, I gotta make sure. I gotta double check everything without my eldest son here. All right. So check this out. Ancient glyphs stepping on lions. Okay, first of all, here's the lions right here. Well, to explain this picture, this is the red sun. This right here is the throne seat. What is going on? This right here is the throne seat. This is the throne seat. Okay, here's the red sun. This is the changeover event with the red sun that people call Nibiru, Nebuharu. It has nothing to do with the planet. Nebuharu is your first. It's the crossing. Why do you think under they have the Ankh? Okay, the Ankh is what is the squatter man. It's the same thing as the squatter man. Okay, that's what it is. So you have the two lines. In this case, the artwork is the tails are the two circles that go under here that are with the squatter man. All right. And you know, they're real creative in how they different places did this. Now here's a different one. Look at this. This is later on. Look at the sun. It's no longer red now. Now you got some leopards. Okay. You got leopards now because they're orange. And now the sun is orange. Now the sun is orange. It's changed colors now. It's no longer the old one. Leo, the LO, the Leo, coming from the age of Leo. And that also has to do with the pole star. That's a whole nother teaching. I'm not going to get too engaged in that. So here we have the orange sun. We have Leo. Okay. You see they both have, one has the eye of Horus, one has the eye of Ra. How do we know? Because that's the left eye of Horus, right eye of Ra. There's Horus, the Horus falcon. Okay. Right here. There's Horus right there, which also has the eye. It's your third eye. It's the crossing, return of the crossing. Those that make it through are those that have the mark on their forehead. It's not a literal mark. It means your first eye is open. You get it. You're vibrating at a certain frequency. That's who makes it through these events. Okay? And some trickle through. But why do you think it's all waves? Look at the waves right here. See the waves? Look at all this. It's waves, waves, waves. Representing plasma, waves coming up, waves. Here's the crown seat. That's the seat or the throne. So they call that the throne of God. So then you get the Bible, get these people that wrote the Bible, get their hands on, they tell you God's got a throne, he's sitting up on it and stuff. It's sun worship. These are sun worshipers, and their sun is patriarchal energy. Later on, we have the orange sun. This is as it's changing. Okay, the one on the right is eating, or excuse me, the one on the left is eating from the tree of knowledge, knowledge. Okay, the one on the right, tree of life, is over here. Here's the orange sun. Okay, coming down. They don't have the Ankh in this one, but it's pretty much what it is. And I could be incorrect. This could be reversed. This could be on the right, and that would make that the tree of life. Okay, because some of these are inversed from the way they took pictures, the pictures. And then we come down here. Another one. This could be the same one, maybe redone, but starting to turn yellow. So even if it was redone by a culture that moved in, they're gonna paint it what they see in the current and there now. So it was starting to go from orange to an orangish yellow now when they refurbished this glyph. Okay, it's the sun cycle. It is the sun cycle. That's what it's all about. That's what all of this is about. Here's the cobra versus the bird, and here's the pole shift, okay, or squatter man that turned into the Jed pillar as well. Over here on Turtle Island is totem poles. Okay, this right here is a totem pole. All right, now it's showing 1, 2, 3, 4, but this is actually the top. So it's 3 rings. That's what they call Atlantis. It reflects and it shows in the firmament during this 3.5 day event that they tell you in the Bible is 3.5 years. Now, is the Antichrist, the so-called Antichrist in human form, transhumanist, going to be down here for 3.5 years and rule? Yes, because it's theater. It's the adder. Who's the adder? It's the snake. An adder is a snake. The adder is theater. Yes, they're going to do everything that's in the Bible. It's the script chores. It's the chores of the script. Okay? Donald Trump is a red. He's repping red, but he's acting blue. And then you had the opposite side, who was the feminine, the blue, the chameleon, who was Kamala, who was acting red. So it's inverted. Everything they do is inverted. All right. So basically, a researcher in South Africa came over some new evidence that basically proves human civilization is far older than believed before. They found large human habitants like giants, basically, were flourishing within huge communities in South Africa more than 200,000 years ago. Now, I told you, I personally, I have approximately 13,000 years of, I'm the keeper of what is called keeper of the past. All right. I hold 13,000 years of records, oral records passed down to I of here on Turtle Island. But because Turtle Island, or what is called America, so many different people have come over, especially being from the East Coast. We've had contact with who you would call the Norsemen, the Vikings, the Phoenicians, uh, you know, uh, the real what you would call African American Geechee Gullas, uh, um, the Blackamoors and the regular Moors, the Moroccans. Okay, so we had contact with all of these. So that's how I know things that are over the pond as well, because that intertwine. Our chiefs would meet with their leaders, who they would call captains and lords. Okay, when they were showing up and they were saying it was under the authority of Isus or Isis, and then later Jesus. Okay, Isus or Jesu Christos, Jesu Christo. Okay, or Isis, the Christ, many different names from many different people, and they would say they was here under the authority of. Today, the term is manifest destiny. Yes, that's true, men. West Africans as well. West Africans as well. Now, there was a continent that was a little bit south of West Africa that many call Atlantis. That did sink, but that's not the real Atlantis. That's just a continent that has sunk. All right. The real Atlantis was the entire map that you see, including Antarctica. All right. Because of what happened at Atlantis, that is why half of our crater or half of our bowl is frozen. That's the whole right brain of who you would call the daughter of the Great Mother, who in Greek is Gaia, or Mother Earth. All right, our bowl. Each bowl has its own energy signature. Ours is the Phi. That is your natural energy signature, the Phi. It goes all the way to your blood. You have Phi-based blood, Fe, iron-based blood. The Phi men, like He-Man. No, it's Phi men. 9. 9 is completion. Okay, 9 is the sacred. It's the most sacred number there is. It's not. It didn't even start out as a number. It started as a symbol. 9 is the embryo. 9 is the Ankh. 9 is the breath of life. 9 is what the fetus inside of the womb. It's the way the baby is laying, looking up at the mom, and that the way the mom carries two souls at once. That's the 9. Okay, your ear forms as a 9. All right, your brain and your spine form as a 9. Men who pass on the feminine energy, yes, feminine energy through sperm. The sperm is a 9. It's the most sacred symbol we have. It's only in words now, in numbers now. Before it was images. It's how we spoke. It was the one. Yes, it is. It's the golden ratio. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. The divine proportion, the golden ratio, which goes into the Zodiac and the Great Pyramid. That's why I can't understand someone who claims, anyone who claims that the Zodiac is new, but has knowledge of the Great Pyramid. The entire Great Pyramid is based on the Zodiac. It's literally based on light. And what is light? That's the lights above. All light is the lights above. And it's reflection. If you were up there looking down, you would see your reflection in our oceans. So when you're down here looking up at that ocean, you're seeing your reflection in that ocean. As above, so below. As it is below, so it is above. It's two mirrors. That's the story of Isis and Isis, aka Offset and Asar. Offset is the golden harmony. That's Isis or Venus. Love. It's golden harmony. Offset. Asar means to rule the golden light. It's the ruler God, the ruler deity. It's not the creator. Well, actually, in the real etymology, it is the creator, because the creator is not the origin. The origin or the origin, like gynecologist, comes from the feminine energy. The creator is the one that, if I give my daughter Play-Doh and she makes something out of it, she created that. But she's not the origin of the Play-Doh. Neither am I. Whoever planted the seeds for the corn and then milled it into cornstarch and then added crushed up, and then whoever planted the berries crushed up the berries and made the dye, or crushed up beetles and made dye and then put them all together and made the Play-Doh. That's the origin of the Play-Doh. My daughter was the creator when she had the Play-Doh. That's the God that everybody's worshiping today. The Father God. He, ha, ha, ha. He and ha mean the same thing. Like ha, Satan, ha, Shaitan. That means he, Satan. He, ha, ha, ha. The Trinity. Odd numbers are masculine. Even numbers are feminine. What is the masculine? What is the masculine numbers? The Trinity, the three, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. They tell you 3 dudes. That's the 3. That's Saturn. Past, that's time. Past, present, future. But they don't want you in the present, because that's the gift. They want you in the past, arguing about your lineage, where you from, your avatars, DNA, 12 tribes, this one, that one, Gentiles, pagans. You were made by some big head scientist from inner earth named Yaakov. White people only existed here for 6,000, 5,000 years. Hogwash. There's literal rock paintings and carvings that are, it doesn't matter. They have new dating systems that aren't carbon based. All right. Radiocarbon based dating is accurate up to 60,000 years. Once you get past 60,000, then the accuracy goes down substantially. About every 10,000 years, the percentage goes down substantially. So when somebody tells you, oh, we carbon dated it and it's 5 million years old, nah. But if it's around 50,000 years, it's actually over 90% accurate. That's a fact. Okay. They have quote unquote white people. I personally, our tribe has record of what we call the white brother. You can take a look at me And you can see that I have a mixed heritage. You can see that I am not 100% of one type of avatar. It's clear to see. None of you are. I don't care what you think. It's been proven that even the people that are actually the only people that actually really are black are 3 tribes. There's only 3 real black, quote, black indigenous tribes on the whole continent of Africa left. And we're going to get into that. And even they are mixed. They only have 90% original DNA. 10% is mixed. And that 10% is what you will call, most people will say, Anunnaki, the Anunnaki DNA. All right. So basically, they found out that over 200,000 years ago, there was huge communities in South Africa. And they believe they found a location of Enki's laboratory at the ruins called Adam's Calendar on the Transvaal Escarpment. Okay. So if you want to follow up on that, I'll repeat that. They believe they found Enki's laboratory in what the Sumerian tablets called the Abzu, South Africa, at the ruins called Adam's Calendar, and it's at the Transvaal Escarpment. Transvaal is Transvaal. Escarpment. Okay. Now, this researcher and archaeologist was quoted saying he said a new understanding. You know, I really don't use that word, but I'm going to quote him. A new understanding of the real history of humankind may just provide some of the answers we've been searching for and deliver a new sense of comfort for many who feel betrayed by our historians and especially by our religions. Okay? That is, I agree totally with that statement. So, Sumerian civilizations were preceded by African culture. Let's be clear. The Middle East is still Africa. Most people in America think Egypt and all that, like Egypt is like something different. No, it's in Africa. It's just all the way, it's just north. It's all the way up top. Africa's a continent, not a country. So a lot of people are ignorant to that simple fact. Okay. So Sumer is one little area, Mesopotamia. All right. What they deem the Middle East. So basically they found proof that Sumerian civilization was preceded by a South African culture. And they have shown that possibly even up to 200,000 years ago, linear time, if we're putting it on, as I told you, it's all cycle, but it can still be recorded from those that make it through the changeover events. They record. That's how we know how long these changeover events are and how spread out they are. And it's written above. It's written. It's recorded in the lights above. That's how you know the word we say Zodiac today has existed. I guarantee going back is 200,000 years. If mankind had civilization for 200,000 years ago, then there was a Zodiac 200,000 years ago. Was it the same one we have now? I would think with common sense, I would think not. Because things get recorded, but it's a cycle, but the cycle has pretty much the same outcome, but different details. It's not the same exact details every single cycle, but it ends with the same. See, that's what these elites are doing. They're literally, they've been time traveling. That's why people, and just to show you what I was talking about, like, look, it's always about killing lions. Like, they always show them standing on lions. Look, the kings and the Elohim, look, they're always standing on lions. That's to show they conquered the feminine energy. And look, it doesn't matter. Then they put the lion's manes and stuff on there to show, no, it's masculine. No, it's been proven. The oldest ones are feminine. They're lionesses. Okay. You don't see no mane around that lion. Look, that feminine energy dug in his butt, his Anunnaki butt. Okay. Got him. And even female lions have a little bit of hair around here, so don't get it twisted. But it's all about them. Look, the lion and the bull of heaven. That's the and then they flip that though. They flip that and turn Ra into a cat, and and the feminine energy is a snake. So they flip everything. They hijack everything. Everything. All right. Now, what was I going to show you? Oh. So. All right. Here's Shamash with the Sa again. Right there. Okay. Now, you see the lines in the cube. He's standing under. He got, he squared the circle. All right. Here's one of the pillars of Freemasonry when it began long, And you remember the first picture I showed you, this one got it cut off, but they had little people coming up. So this person is much bigger. The reason being is because these beings that we call the Anunnaki are just elites that they cracked time travel a long, long time ago. And what they do, when they go backwards in time, they're bigger. When they come through these, what we call portals. Okay. They are bigger. When they move forward in time, they're smaller. They come out as little gray aliens, these little people. Okay. When they move forward, they get smaller because of the vibration. To move forward, you have to move in smaller waves. When you go backwards, it got to be long, lower waves. So for them to manifest, even through time travel, which is just wormhole technology, it's literal portal technology. It's not Back to the Future. No, it's 88. When this thing reaches 80 miles per hour, you're going to see fireworks. 88 miles per hour. Well, what's the 88? This is the 88 right here. It's the Apep snake. This is the 88. Okay? Ra comes and slays Apep. When this baby reaches 88, what are they saying? They've learned how to, this is the Apep. Here's Ra slaying Apep right here. This is Ra. See how they switched? Now the cat look, smiling. Now the cat is killing the snake. All right? Look, the snake was guarding the tree of life. The Anunnaki already had the tree of knowledge. These are the netters, the gods. Why would they need to get to the tree of knowledge? They already have it. So it's in the Bible. It says, now, if they figure out the tree of life, they're going to be just like us. So why is the snake guarding the tree of life? This is the mother. It's the feminine energy. All right? They're killing it. They're killing it. The elites. They go back and they try to do these things that we experienced, little side effects we've termed the Mandela effect now. Okay? Mandela effect. And they're trying to get different outcomes and they can't do it. It doesn't matter what they do. They cannot get a different outcome. That's why I said every cycle has the same outcome. It's just different details. They tell you the devil's in the details. Yeah. Because what you call the devil is these L eats, the ones making sure that L eats your energy, because they are cut off from the great mother, the womb of all creation, the tree of life. They don't live forever. They're immortal. Immortal doesn't live forever. Immortal still needs an energy source to live extended lifespans. Now, look at that right there. That's a pep. That's Ra killing a pep. Now, look at this. This is this right here. That's the sword. That's the knife that was slaying a pep. Okay, a pep is Pepsi. If you put Pepsi, a pep is dead. And there's the knife killing the Apep snake. They're telling you Apep is dead. Okay? God is dead. The snake was the great mother energy. They tell you Ra in the Sumerian tablets, it says Marduk chopped Tiamata, the great mother, in half. They thought she was dead. Okay? They proclaim the great mother is dead. The feminine energy is dead. The patriarch will reign forever. The King of Kings, Lord of Lords. I'm the only God, jealous God. A pep is dead. So Pepsi is the blood of a pep. So next time you drink a Pepsi, know that symbolically you're drinking the blood of the great mother. That's what it's about. What you really think this is? Come on, y'all. Do you really think this is? I mean, look on the so-called dollar bill with all the Egyptian pyramids and all CNI. You don't think that these billion-dollar corporations don't have the same stuff? Look at this. Look at this. It's the same. If I put a circle around there, it's the same cut as the Pepsi. The same exact thing. A pep is dead. Pepsi. See a pep. See a pep is dead. The analemma. Okay, 88 miles per hour. They know how to travel through what we call time. It's a frequency, but they still can't escape. All right, their kingdom. All right, so Sumerian civilization was preceded by South African culture. And it's been proven now beyond a shadow of a doubt that they knew how to harness free energy from Earth. Okay, that wasn't just in South Africa. That was also in a continent that on the map we're given would be east of Australia that we call Lumeria. Okay, Lumeria. Pretty much everybody knew how to harness the energy of the earth harmonically. Okay, 0 point energy. It's what it is. It's the fee. It's just operating in the scales of mind. It's what it is. When you operate in harmony, the way the trees, what we exhale, the trees breathe, and what the trees exhale, we breathe. That means they breathe our spirit, we breathe their spirit. So the trees literally cleanse spirit, and we cleanse them. That is harmony. Why do you think they call it the tree of life? Why is it not the flower of life, or the rock of life, or the bull of life, or the grass of life, or the bread of life, or the book? Well, they do have the book of life, but anything. It's the tree of life, because that represents harmony. Okay, not the one with thorns and thistles that has no ledge, with vines wrapping all around it. The one that is the wise dome that touches, it goes so high, it goes out of the dome. That's the toroidal field that comes out of the triple black seed of the mother, aka the origin. In you have a fragment of it called your soul. You have to understand something. Okay? You have to understand that if give me 1 second. I had wrote a quote down that I'm looking for real quick. I probably can say it, but I'm gonna say it the best I can. The first thing you would do if you were the all, you're by yourself, it's just you, you're the all. What's the first thing you're gonna do? If you can do anything, you're going to duplicate yourself. You're going to make another you. That's what cells do. That's cellular reproduction. That is the phi energy. It doubles. It doubles. Now, unfortunately, I have to write 369 energy in here to pull out what I want, because they don't want you to know the truth. The blue is the phi energy. Okay. This is 0 point right here. This is why if you look at all the ancient pictures of the Buddhists when they're meditating, they're holding a 0 with their hand right here at their navel, the umbilical cord. Then it changed. They started holding one up here, one down here. Okay. They started changing, I do the Mësët symbol. Okay. That's right here. That's right here. Mësët. Okay. Now they do one up, one down. All right. One up, one down. One up, one down. All right. And this is the 0 point, the navel, where your umbilical cord connects to the greatest of spirit. Well, what is our great spirit here in this bowl, this reality, this realm, this bowl? Okay, 0 point, doubles. It splits itself right here. Goes to 1. The 1 goes to 2, doubles. The 2 goes to 4, doubles. The 4 goes to 8, doubles. The 8 goes to 16. Well, 1 plus 6 is 7, doubles. 16 goes to 32. Well, 32 is 3 plus 2 is 5, doubles. 32 goes to 64 and doubles. 64 is 10, meaning you got to come through the 0 point, which is the actual what 10 really is. It's just going back to the 0 point and then go to the 1. That's the 10. What they did was say 10, they reversed it. Satan, say 10. They reversed it into a new number, the most high, 10, higher than 9. 10 is up here now, the all-seeing eye. It's the 1 and the 0, binary. What does all AI and computers and technology run off of? 1s and 0s. Binary. Binary. Aries. The tribe of Aries. Aries is the ram. The ram's horns, the devil horns, and all that. Okay? They tell you it's good. If you follow someone like Santos Bonacci, a lot of good information. I'm not knocking the man, but he truly believes Aries is like God. That's the God mind. No, that's the tribe of Aries. That's carnal. Yes, Aries is anagram for arise. But arise to what? To the most high, the 10. Say 10. 1s and 0s. Binary. Bind Aries. Binaries. It's the Aries, the age of Aries, the ram's horn, blowing the shofar. Okay, and the reason that the age of Aries is so important is because prior to that is when they did the trick with the pyramid that literally ripped the space-time continuum, which I showed on the teaching that I did on a certain channel that now has it behind a paywall, but I have it. I got it back. Not from that person, but I got it back. So I will be posting it on my page. Excuse me, the page that I steward for all those who would like to rewatch. So what they did was, it's the pyramid technology. Okay. Now there's certain people who think that the pyramid is some kind of technology that set us free. No, it was trying to set a certain group of people free that are known as the gods or the Elohim or the Anunnaki or the Netters, the Pharaohs. Okay. The blue bloods. And what they did was, it's not that 3, 6, 9 energy is bad. Because energy itself is not malevolent or benevolent. It's energy. But it's not natural. This is not our natural energy. This is what they call angel wings and the wings of the angel. Okay? This is eternal. This doubles. If this was correctly shown, it wouldn't be. They only got it like this because they're trying to show you the 3, 6, 9. If it was correctly shown, it wouldn't be minimized to the single digit, and it would go in a spiral. It would go 8 to 16, 16, 32, 32, 64, 64, 128, 128 to 256, and it would just keep going in the golden ratio, the spiral, the inspiration. Eternal. This right here is infinite. So what they did was they put a -3, a -3, a -6, and a -9 down here. This pyramid rotates this way, and the the negative 3, 6, 9 rotates this way. That's called the Cain-Abel system, the system, aka an external Merkaba. Okay, this is the Ka, and then they made the Ba. Okay, that's the story of, that's how they tricked ISIS. They made a reflection. They placed a reflection inside of you, in your DNA, and in the realm, the firmament, the moon. Okay. And now you have a delayed not only is your manifestation delayed, one, because you can't be entrusted with it. You can't even control your thoughts. Your thoughts are wrapped up in the 3, 6, 9 energy, one spinning this way, one spinning this way. That's called duality. Do you see duality here? No. You see doubling. But it's all one. It's doubling. That's manifestation. That's womb manifestation through the womb. The mother is pregnant with the baby. She now, even before the baby is birthed, is 2 souls in the mother. The one became 2. That, let's say, daughter goes on to have a boy and a girl. Okay. Or even just one more. Let's say the daughter goes on to have one more. That's 1, 2, and then one more will be 4. So 1 plus 2 is 3, then 4. Okay, but we're talking about individuals. It would be 2, 2 people, 2 more babies. But you see what I'm saying? This same thing happens in the micro of micros within your cells. Within your cells. But there's something on your chromosomes, on your genes, called telomeres. Scientists do not know why or how these caps that look like shoelaces, the little things on the end of your shoelaces, the little things on the end of your shoelaces are on the tips of your chromosomes, right? And what happens is, when you get to a certain age, time, they stop they stop the natural energy. They stop cellular reproduction. They stop this cell, which naturally has to die. If this cell doesn't remove itself, that's called cancer. If this cell stays, this cell stays, this cell stays, this cell stays, this cell, that's called a tumor. 2 more. Cain-Abel. That's the tumor, the cyst. It becomes a cyst. So the one got to remove itself. But there's 2 more. There's 2, though. So the one did his job. The one planted her seeds. She can leave now and go on to the next place, as my wife did. She planted 4 seeds. Okay? Work done. Well done. Beloved wife, beloved soulmate, twin flame. Well done. Okay? That is why, with no death force, there would be cancer. Okay? See, they call good God. That's where God comes from, good. Okay? They call life good. All right, let me break this down. The masculine energy, which you've been indoctrinated with, is this. This is the masculine energy. Good is God. Good. So this is the masculine energy right here, this list. Good is God. That's life. Order, the yang and the yin and the yang. That's the yang. The sun, which is light. Heaven, which is the head, or Aries, in the morning. Okay. The morning is also considered masculine, and the odd numbers right here, 3, 6, 9. Now, this is coming from them. I'm not saying this is all true. I'm saying this is the indoctrination, because you can see an odd number right here in the feminine energy, right here, right here. Okay. So they tell you that the feminine energy is evil or devil. Evil is devil. They tell you the feminine energy is death, the reaper coming, death. But with no death force, it would be nothing but cancer. It would be tumors, cysts. Okay, that's why the secret societies create order. They create chaos, and then they create order out of it, and then they create false chaos and then false order, and that they keep doing that. That's their blueprint. Order out of chaos. Okay. They believe that is their manifest destiny, that they are the Father God worshipers. They're here to subdue the entire realm with their masculine energy, no matter what. And if you're in their way, you are goyim. You are chattel. You're an animal. That's why they call the Zodiac today the wheel of animals, because they look at everything in here as animals, including you. That's why on your ID, it says you're female or male. It doesn't say you're a man or a woman. A man and woman are above a king and a queen. Only they have kings and queens, the Most High, the Lord of Lords, King of Kings, the Queen of Heaven. No, there ain't no king of heaven, queen of heaven. It's brothers and sisters. It's a family. Ain't no doggone king. That's dogma. The dogma. Anubis. Set on. Anu, the Most High. El Elyon, the Most High. Saturn. Seton. It's all the same story over and over. Every mythology. So they call the feminine energy chaos. In the Far East, they call it the yin. It's the moon energy. That's dark. So the sun is light. Of course, the light is good and darkness is bad. But the 0 point, you don't even see it on here, because that's the triple black seed of the mother. Your belly button. What's inside your belly button? Darkness. Darkness. Even if you got an Audi, it was connected to the a physical umbilical cord. It was darkness. It was darkness. Same thing in the spiritual realm. Same thing in the spiritual realm. Your pineal gland surrounded, it's in darkness. All your organs are in darkness. Your brain's in darkness. Your heart's in darkness. Everything is in darkness. Okay? What do they tell you the God of this world is? What is this world? It's light. It's light. The light comes from the darkness and returns to the darkness. What's the womb? The baby is in the womb. It's darkness. It's dark. The only light is coming internally from the mother, from her light. That can't be seen by no others. You can't look at a mother's stomach and see the light that the baby can see inside there. The baby can see with the first eye. With the first eye. To enter the realm of heaven, even, balance, harmony, scales of Ma'at, the great mother, you got to come as a child. That's why children are closer to heaven than we are. They're close. That's why children have a magi nation. They're more wise than the adults. It's the story of Peter Pan. What do they keep telling Peter Pan? Remember, Peter, you got to remember. Remember. What's remember? To become a member again. Member of what? Remember, a member of the real you. Right now, you're mainly not you, beloved, but most are not the real them. They're the ego. The ego is the echo. It's the energy that's echoed back from the world. It's the world telling you who you are. Oh, I'm Chief Iron Bush. I'm chief of the Lenape Hopewell tribe. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, let me record all the powwows I go to. Let me record all the chiefs that I take pictures with. Let me record and just put it all online so I can put this persona and show you the this and that. No, it's much deeper. And not to toot my own horn or anything, but I have gained the respect of elders. Some that you have heard me refer to as dragon chiefs. Some of them I've literally blown their minds. I've gained their respect, their honor from the way that I handle things. Because no matter what I sound like, no matter how much passion I have, no matter what where it sounds like I'm from, it's because it's a vibration coming out of an avatar that is a language. Okay? A third dimensional language. So I'm going to sound a certain way. That doesn't mean it's coming from the ego. Now, I could put on an act, a persona, and speak very proper like. Greetings, everyone. Please come in, take a moment, take a few breaths. In through your nose, hold 3 seconds. Out through your mouth. Great job. You're doing great. I could put on a persona for you. And you say, man, that guy is intelligent. I could quote all these different books that I read and tell you I read 20,000 books. And every time I give you some information, I could, well, actually probably couldn't. But if that was my prerogative, I could cite all these different books and this and that. But no, there's such thing as higher wisdom. And those that don't understand it mock those that do. This is the story of Christ. They literally let a murderer go. Barabbas. 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 They let the murderer Barabbas go and they killed Christ. That's the same thing these YouTubers are doing right now. Those that are telling the real truth. Oh, yes, I'm actually going inward and accessing this. It's being unveiled by the greatest of spirit. Yes, I read books, but I'm not regurgitating anything to you that I read out of a book. When I tell you I read from a book, I will tell you, like I just did, I'm going to quote someone. Okay? That's why most of the teachings that you come over here and hear and see, you won't hear anywhere else. And the people that rely solely on two-dimensional books in this moment frown upon that because they, for whatever reason, at this moment are not accessing that capability. Is it possible they may not even have that access? That is very possible. That's what you would call NPC. It's just someone who is here to be part of this construct. And it is so well made that they don't even know. So they truly be live that they're just like you, but they're not. But their fruit shall tell who they are. So if someone's frowning upon someone because you're not caught up in reading books and stuff now, because we're coming out of that energy. That paradigm is fading fast. It's dying. It's gasping for its last breaths of air, and the people are holding on to it. They're scratching and clawing at it. Please, please explain it. Tell me these books. Please. Let someone come on that tells you that, no, I'm not reading. This comes from inside. This guy's a fluke, man. He's a nut. There's people get on here disrespectful to talk about smoking meth and all type of crazy stuff. But that's a reflection of them. How would you know about smoking meth if you didn't do it yourself? How would you know what someone looks like or acts like? So apparently, you somehow relate to something, and the only way you can relate is through your experience through methamphetamines. That's the people that get on here and say, this dude's doing this, this dude's doing that. They literally told on themselves. They're telling on themselves because that's their ego. Their ego is speaking out and telling on them. It's the accuser, the great accuser. The ego is the lower self. It's accusing the higher self. Do you see? It doesn't matter if it's the higher self in you. It's just a higher self. So the ego is always going to attack the higher self. Do you know what Ra Legion is? Ra Legion, listen to this. This is profound. This came to me the other day. You know what Ra Legion is? Ra Legion, especially Christianity, is literally a story that is told for you to be live, that your ego gets eternal life. Ra Legion is a story, especially Christianity, that is told that this person did everything perfect and removed their ego. So because we was in our ego and we murdered this person, and in retrospect, oh, now snap, we messed up. Oh, you're not reading books. You actually are going inward. We put you down, said you was on drugs and this and that. We messed up. But as long as you repeat after me and come to the altar to alter your mind, to alter you, instead of you going inward, we're going to alter you. Repeat after me. I believe that Jesus Christ was here as a man. Jesus Christ was here as a man. Was crucified. Was dead for 3 days. Rose from the dead on the third day. And he died for the sins of the whole world. Amen. Hallelujah. What? You're saved, brother, forever. You are signed and sealed. Nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You can become Jeffrey Dahmer now. And guess what? Because you be live in this story I just told you, and you repeated after me, in the pulpit, to pull you into the pit of dogma. Because you be live it, now you can become Jeffrey Dahmer, brother, and nothing can separate you from that grace. Your ego is going to live forever. So you're going to go to heaven, where heaven means even, harmonic. harmony. You've done no shadow work. You've done no inner work. You have not become the Christ. They've told you the story, and it's all about the death and the cross. That's like your grandmother getting hung and you having a noose of it everywhere. You got a noose on your wall everywhere. Yeah, Granny got hung. You know, that's in her memory. You know what I'm saying? She died for our sins, you know. She died for our sins. You know what I mean? So, you know, just in her memory, we put the noose up everywhere. See, you want to see my noose chain? Yeah, man. It's in Granny's memory. What? What? No. So they're telling you all you gotta do is be live on this story, this mythos, and the ego can gain entry into heaven. Then it won't be heaven. What you think you automatically just go through these pearly gates and then you just change? That's not free will. That means you're not even you. Beloved, you're not you. That's not you. That's why they tell you in their book that those that go are going to be surrounding the throne of Yahuwah, Yahweh, and forever are going to be saying, holy, 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 holy. And then there's another phrase. Holy, holy, holy means set apart, set apart, set apart. Hakodesh, Hakodesh, Hakodesh. Kodeshim. Kodesh comes from Kwahim, the queen king. It still go back to the great mother, but it means to be set in the Hebrew, her web, the spider grandmother, the origin, the origine. Okay. They telling you that the Father got the earth as a footstool. A footstool. You know, every culture except over here on Turtle Island, well, it used to be, not anymore, that feet are the most disrespectful thing. If there's certain places you can go in this world, if you walk by somebody and your feet get by there too close to them, they will actually unalive you. Feet are the most disrespectful thing because feet are known as the heel or the hell. Hell. That's why Muslims in Islam, they don't let their pants touch the ground because they roll their pants up because they said to keep their pants out of the hellfire, the heel fire. Okay, that's the mythos behind in Islam. Okay, so you're gonna be so. First of all, this is God's footstool. That's disrespectful in every culture except Christianity. Okay. Number one. And number two, you're going to go up there and you're just going to turn to a completely different person. You ain't done no work here. That's why you're going to keep coming back. That's how you know it ain't just one and done. It would be no one. It literally would be like, if it was one and done here, it would literally be like, man, I don't even know. Like a bus full, one bus of people in heaven. That one and done. And it'd probably be all children. To be real. Children. That's how I know. Well, that ain't the only reason how I know, but that's another fact added to the confirmation that the real way I know. But you're going to have to keep coming back until you really figure it out. Until you figure this out. And if you've come this far to where you at a page like this, oh, Chief only got 7,000 subs on YouTube. And that tells me that what's going on over here is a good thing. It's the narrow path. is 200K, 250K, 500K subs. Does that sound like a narrow path to you? That sounds like a worldly path to I. That don't sound like something unique. Okay, you're in the presence of uniqueness right in this moment. All of not I. I'm not talking about I. I'm talking about you all. As I'm in your presence, you're a gift to I. Okay, this is an honor. I tell you, many of you all on many occasions when you give I compliments and things, and I get it. I get it. So I graciously try to accept it as humbly as possible. But the honor, we share the honor. I don't want to say the honor is all mine because that's selfish. But the honor is ours. We share in it. And this is a privilege for I. Because this is why I am here this go round. Okay? It's why I came. It's why I'm here. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But if you're here for this kind of unveiling, then you are about ready. You're like ready. Like you're getting measured for your like I don't like using the graduation thing, but as far as the present school system with the squaring the circle and all that, but in a healthy way, you're getting sized up for your gown. You're getting measured by the tailor and all that right now. That's how close you are to getting it. Okay. Peter, you got to remember. You got to remember, Peter. What did he have to remember? He was like a child. He had to become a child again. That's what it was. All right. Where was I? Let me bring this up real quick. I'm just jumping all over. I was really trying to show you something about the Anunnaki. That's what I was talking about, the South Africa stuff. But I'm the Great Spirit. I let the Great Spirit do what it do, and it never failed me. Never failed I. Okay. Okay, check this out. Am I sharing? Oh, wait, hold on. Share screen. Check this out, right? That's the feed. Whether you know it or not, that's what I just showed you with the blue energy. Okay? That's the tree of life. The feed is the tree of life. It's the feminine energy. Mathematically, it's 1.618. Okay? The golden ratio, also known as the divine proportion. I don't like using the word divine, but sacred proportion. So check this out. I'm gonna drop a few gems for you. All right. So 1.618. First of all, the Zodiac shifts 1 degree every approximate 72 years. All right. Well, the average age of a man, not just now, but the last like millennia. People say this craziest stuff. People say the lifespan is like 30 and this and that. That's where? In like a 5 square mile place where they're just having more all the time. Yeah. But we're talking about real stuff that your soul knows. Okay. So the average age is about 72. So the precession of the ecliptic in the zodiac is 72 years per degree, which is 72 times 360 degrees, which is the circle or the great mother, which is the crown. It's where, and I'm going to get into that. I'm probably going to have to do a part 2 for this. We already almost 2 hours in. The crown comes from the zodiac. The patriarchal crown literally comes from the zodiac. So if you can go back and find any hieroglyphs, any story, and see any crown, it's based off the zodiac. It don't matter. You talking about Romans. Romans just, all the Romans did was disperse it. Their name, Roman. They just roaming all around. Romans. They just roaming the world with all this knowledge that they took by force. Okay? The most distorted masculine energy that's been on this in this cycle, the Romans. And they're still here. They're ruling right now. And from the age of Aries, the ones that crossed over made it through to the age of Pisces. See, it's all in the zodiac. It's just hard. I have a difficult task to just give it to you because I'm not all can edit this visual presentation. If I could, I would. All right. I mean, I could, but I'm using what gifts I have. Okay. You know how the zodiac, the signs is like fire, water, earth, air? Well, it's also positive, negative, neutral. Positive, negative, neutral. Positive, negative, neutral. Positive, negative, neutral. 4 quarters of 3 different signs, each one positive, negative, neutral, or feminine, masculine, neutral, or androgynous. Okay? Or proton, electron, neutron. Macro, micro, meso. It's all, the truth is always and always. So the same thing is with the changeover events. Fire, water, wind. Wind basically means neutral. Nothing happened. That was the age of Pisces. That was the coming of they said the Christ. Okay, it wasn't just Emmanuel. You have Krishna. You had whether they're myths or not, it was all around the same time frame. It was the changeover from the age of Aries to the age of Pisces, when all these myths of the Chiro or the hero came to fruition and became the narrative. Persians had myth of Ra, Mithras. The Greeks had Dionysus. Sure, these things were 800 years prior, this and that, but that was the cusp. That's when the age of Aries energy was moving out and the age of Piscean energy was coming in. The age of ruling and dominating was in war, Mars, war, murder, corruption, hypocrisy, lying, black magic, reverse spell casting, all of that. The false gods. Okay. Yahuwah, Yahweh. The tetragrammaton, Yod He Vav He, literally means positive, neutral, negative, neutral. It's a wave. It's the tetragrammaton itself is a title of that, the person that had the most priestly knowledge of that moment, who was Amenhotep IV, also known in the Bible as Moses, and his sister wife, Mary Kaya, in the Bible called Miriam, his sister. Okay. That's what it was. And they tell you Moses couldn't speak right. No, it wasn't that. It was that he couldn't speak to the language of the Apirus, the Aparus, the lower class people. He spoke the priestly language, so he was so adept, he couldn't speak right, so he needed an interpreter. They tell you Aaron, because Aaron could speak the language of the lower class, the Aparus, those that hire themselves out for various tasks, all ethnicities, all colors of skin. You had South Africans, you had West Africans, you had Nubians, you had Ethiopians, you had the Arabs. You know, you had all different people. You had people that had white skin. Talking about the Caucasoid Mountains. All different ethnicities were Aparus. Today called Hebrews. The Greeks made that word up, just like they did the Pale Hebrew language. It's literally a joke to them. It's they're laughing. They're sitting back laughing at the Hebrew Israelites. They literally made it up. And they got people on the street corner yelling with microphones with hatred, spitefulness. It's just a game. That's all it is. It's a game. I've witnessed it. I'm not just telling you like this is my opinion. I witnessed it. I've seen them out there with AKs and stuff like that in Kansas City. Hebrew Israelites on the corner with AKs and stuff. What's that? You live by that, you're going to die by that. Isn't that what your word of God says? But as long as you don't eat a cheeseburger, meat and cheese, and you got your tassels on, you'll be all right, though. That's all that matters, right? So, the precession of the ecliptic is 72 years per degree. That's the average age of a man, so or woman, for the past few millennia. In this past age, the age of Pisces. So one Platonic comes from Plato, the astrologer that some say that didn't even know the zodiac. The Greeks didn't even know the zodiac because they told it in a story. So those that can only come from the left brain and they're reading the Greek mythos are saying, I don't see no evidence of any zodiac here. When the whole freaking Greek mythology is telling you what happened in the stars. They're just telling you with names: Zeus, Perseus, Hercules, this one, that one. It's Hermes. But some people have I don't know if it's ignorance or just content creators, maybe to make some kind of, maybe they're running out because the masculine can't come up with things. They can only masculine can only regurgitate. So if you regurgitate so much, you get to a certain point where it's like, man, what else can I regurgitate? The cud, chewing of the cud. There's no more cud to chew. You have to access someone that has that's operating from the feminine energy to even have something to discuss. So one Platonic month or age, if you Google it, is 2,160 years. Now, that's not accurate, but for the sake of just dropping this gem on you, we'll keep it at that. So that's 72 years times 30 degrees because each constellation of the 12 zodiacs is 30 degrees. Okay, that also has to do with Freemasonry. So 72 years times 30 degrees equals 2,160. That's where they get it from. It's the circle. Okay. But what people are not putting into the equation is that it's out of balance. The energy is out of balance. Therefore, the toroidal field is out of balance. Therefore, it's not a perfect harmonic circle. That means the light frequency is out of balance. That's why you can't go by time from ages ago and think it's the same. Time is light. It's a vibration. So if the light is different, if the sun, which I've already showed you, is changing colors, that means time itself is different. Man shall live 1,000 years. You think, what would a 1,000-year-old man look like today? You don't want to even look at that person. You don't even want no one in your family to live no 900 years. They will look like walking death. It will spook you out. You would feel, you would get shivers down your spine. You would be like, man, somebody need to put grandpa, like, I hope he just goes on home. Looking crazy. It's Tibetan monks that have mastered the art of prana. That means bringing in energy from the ether, that they can literally keep their spirit in their body. They're in hospital beds. They only have the prana and the chi to keep their spirit going in and out of the body. And the body is just deteriorating, evaporating to nothing. 160 years old. Oh, I Googled it, Chief. It's on the oldest person's only 121. No, sorry, false. There's people without birth certificates and social security numbers that are here in this realm. Okay. There's people that live, there's even said to be someone that's over 400 years old in the Tibetan mountains. Okay. What I'm trying to say is 900 years back then would look like 90 today. Because it's the frequency. Therefore, time is not the same. Because the light is not the same. That's the red sun. It's the low, long ways. You live long. It moves slower. Everything is slower. The experience is slower. Everything is slower. Your aging is slower. But you don't know that because even when you're there, it's only now. You're not there comparing that now to this now and saying, well, when it's the blue sun, man, shoot, I'd be like almost dead right now. And you're 70 years old knowing you still got 800 more years left to live. That's why you don't remember all your reincarnations, your incarnations. That's why. Because that's not what this is all about. I'm just giving you information to build on to help you remember. Not even I'm not. The Great Spirit is giving you information. So apparently someone or many need to hear some of this to spark something inside of you. Now, so remember the golden ratio right here. I got it. The fee. That's the fee. That's the tree of life. 1.618. Okay. So the average human adult has a heartbeat of 70 beats per minute. Now, every time a heartbeat, that's light. It's electricity. All right. Electricity is light. Magnetism carries light. So you know them things when they go at the hospital when they go clear, zzz, boosh, your heart does that every heartbeat. Why do you think they do that? To try to resuscitate someone. It's trying to get your heart to spark back up. Your heart does that every heartbeat. Zzz, boom, zzz, boom, zzz, boom. But it sounds like that's them going and putting on your chest. Put it on your chest. Put it on your chest. Artificially, but inward, it's light. Every heartbeat is light. Big bang. Every thought is the big bang. 2 neurons. That's a thought. One send, one receive. Okay? It's this is facts. Okay, so look. The phi energy, 1.618 mathematically. Golden ratio. The ratio of life. The average human adult has a heartbeat of 70 beats per minute. 70 divided by 1.618, the golden ratio, equals 43.2. So, you say, 40, where are you going with this? 43.2, so 432. That's 9. Okay. 432 is 9. So you take the average heartbeat of a man, 70, 7 chakras, 7 wheels, all pumping, but that's one of the wheels. The one in the middle is your heart. Okay, 70, because that's the one that's in the middle, 3 above, 3 below. As above, so below. So your heart is in the middle. Okay. So it's the one that connects all the energy points, all 7. So it's 70 heartbeats per minute. Okay. If you divide it by the golden ratio, the phi energy, 1.618 equals 43.2. 432, that's 9. So 432. If you 432 times 432 equals 186,642. Guess what that is? That's exactly the speed of light. Exact. 186,282 miles per second is the exact speed of light in a vacuum. Vacuum means darkness. Guess where your heart is at? It's in darkness. So every time your heart beats, it's producing light. Every time your heart beats, it's producing a spark that moves 186,282 miles per second. Boom, boom. You just produce light in a universe, a big bang that moves 186,282 miles per second. Okay. Why is this relevant? Well, for those that think they're from the tribe of Judah, the Yahudans, the tribe of Yahudah, the line of the tribe of Judah. Well, it says in the book of Numbers, we're talking about the number of the feet, the energy. In the book of Numbers, where it's all about numbers, and it tells you in the Kabbalah, the Kabbalah, that a day is not as 1,000 years, a day is as 100 years. They're telling you their cipher. So the book of Numbers is all unveiling esoterically how they deal with numbers. They tell you that there was that they always the Israelites, with their Jacobites at this particular moment, they were known as Jacobites. The Jacobites, when there were nomads, daemons, they just traveled everywhere in the desert. Wherever the work was, that's where they went. But they let you tell it, they'd say they were slaves, but they went there willingly. They just got tired of working for these people and ended up started killing them, and would say that their God told them to do it. Thou shalt not kill, but I'm tired of working for these people and traveling through the desert. I think I just heard God say, kill everything with breath in 60 cities, except the virgins. Take them this day and make them your wives. Well, guess what? The Phoenician word that they tell you is Hebrew word for a virgin girl was. It meant a girl aged 5 to 13. So kill men, women, children, and babies, except the virgin girls. The phrase virgin girls meant age 5 to 13. Well, Chief, this is what I've heard before. Well, Chief, that's because they were the serpent seed and they had to get rid of them. They was a serpent seed, but they took their daughters and made them their wives. Think, McFly. Think. Take them this day and make them your wives. That means kidnap them. Make them your wives means sexual consummation. The wedding was a party. That was a party. That was not making them their wives. Making them wives was even over here on Turtle Island was when you went to the tent, and over here, the mother of the mother would actually sit outside the tent and wait for the marriage to be consummated. The mother of your wife would be sitting outside the tent while y'all was doing consummating the marriage. Well, that's what the book of Numbers and all that, But anyway, the book of Numbers, when they was in their, traveling mode, they would set up camp in the shape of a cross. And they had certain tribes at certain points. And they never varied from this cross. Like, it's not like sometimes this tribe was set up over here, sometimes this tribe over here. Like the tribe of Dan was always at the northern point of the cross. The tribe of Judah always set up to the east point of the cross, where the sun rose. Okay? They tell you in the book of Numbers that the tribe of Judah population was 186,400. Okay? Now, we know today that exact speed of light in a vacuum is 186,282 miles per second. But they tell you they were pretty close. They were off by less than 200. They tell you the tribe of Judah's population was 186,400. And they always set up to the east where the light came up. The tribe of Judah is simply Leo. Okay? Just like the Egyptians had the Sphinx. Oh, that comes from Graham Hancock. That's false. No, actually, if you know people that live in Egypt, they know. So the people that are just reading books, if you actually go places and talk to people, you get a better understanding of the truth. Okay. All right. So even the Egyptians, the Tamarans, had this outlook. Even the Mayans. The Mayans have a prophecy of the return of the children of light. That's what them lions I showed you earlier were. Leo. Elo. That's where Elo. Elohim. Elo. Leo. Him the Leo. The lion of the tribe of Judah. Judah simply means children of light. That's it. It's the Zodiac. Talking about Leo. Simple as that. They're talking about light. Those that are in the light. That operate with the light. Okay. But in 1600s, we have this word called Lucifer. Lucifer. The light bearer. Those operate with the light and do it in a selfish manner. Do it in a way where, it's all about me. Let me manifest things. Basically, I lie to myself or the aura around me, or, it's different terms now. My toroidal field, my informed field, my the ether. Let me lie to it, because then if I become it and act as if I already have it, I can get it. And that's even in the Bible. But it's said in a more righteous way. Christ said, when you ask for something, ask as if you've already received it. The reason he said that, he's not telling you to lie. Oh, lie and say that you did. No, he's saying be grateful when you ask, because you don't even know that you already have it. That's what that message was. You don't even know you already have everything you need. You just don't remember who you are and what you're doing here. Oh, I'm from Palladium. I'm Palladian, Arcturian. Yeah, I'm getting downloads. The sun is a portal, man. Let me take pictures in the sun, and so the lights can come down over me and I look cool and I look like I'm getting activated and stuff like that. And I'm getting these downloads from the sun. You don't even know what the sun is. You most either think it's a big old ball out in the middle, a star that we're floating around 666,000 miles per hour, spinning 1,000 miles per hour while we're moving with it, and the sun is moving with us through the galaxy, also at like 1,000,000 miles per hour. So you be live that, or you be like, we just on a flat Earth, and it's a actual physical sun moving around and an actual physical moon moving around, or you believe something like the Jacob story, the big head scientists from underground, inner Earth, but yet they say that they're the children of the sun. If they're the children of the sun, then why would Jacob come from inner Earth? He wasn't on the surface of the Earth. That means he ain't no child of the sun. So that the whole story of that comes from Dwight York, Dr. Malachi Z. York, and Elijah Muhammad, who believes that he's on the mothership right now. Okay. Them two work to come up with that story. It's where it comes from. Nobody else. That doesn't come from nowhere else. Okay. The holy tablets. All that man did was reinterpret the Bible and spell things different. That's it. And basically he was a step ahead of the papacy, because that's what the papacy is doing now. They're putting aliens in there. Why do you think they're all starting to talk about aliens now? They're going to start talking about, why do you think the History Channel is pushing Anunnaki now? They're coming back. The return of the gods, the alien gods who made the human race. They never left. They're stuck here. They need us. They're not eternals any longer. They're separated. What we're told the biblical mark of the beast is, they did that billions of years ago on a linear time. If you want to put time linear on a line, they did the mark of the beast billions of years ago. They're stuck in time. They can't go back to the womb, because the womb is where organic minds begin. They're not organic minds anymore. They don't have the feminine connection. They replaced it with artificial intelligence, but it's not really artificial. That's the thing. It's just not organic. It's not the A tone. It's the beta. The better. It's better. Beta. It's not the A tone meant the alpha tone of the mind. The source code. It's the one on top of the source code. The B, the bet. Bet in Phoenician, what they tell you is Hebrew, means Saturn or home. Because on Tiamat, the bigger earth, everything that they tell you is a planet is a bowl. It's all been inverted. The dome over top, it's a bowl underneath. As above, so below. If it's a mirror, it's not a dome and then another dome. That don't make sense. No, it's a mirror. So it's a dome and then it's a bowl. That's a reflection. You're in a bowl, beloved. Everything they tell you is a planet is on the same plane of inertia called Tiamat, the bigger Earth. The furthest crater from us is what we call Saturn today. Goes by many names. I went through them in the last teaching. Age of the Zodiac Part 2. Skip through the whole nonsense rebuttal I did. I look in the comment section. I posted the timestamp. You could skip and go straight to the beginning of the real teaching. I named all the ancient names. So for anyone saying the Zodiac didn't exist, because listen to the names, they're all Roman. Where's the Greek names? And the Greeks only had yeah. It's just like people that read the ink on the Bible and then they in the religion and they're like, Jesus is coming back. When they found the text, the Gospel of Thomas, in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, that is older than the Dead Sea Scrolls, where it's documented that Christ is sitting there saying, when they tell you he's in the sky, don't go. Birds gonna beat you there. When they tell you the return of the Christ is in the water and is in the ocean, don't look, don't go. Fish gonna beat you there. When they say it's in the cave, don't look, don't go. The explorer gonna beat you there. When they say the return of Christ is in the desert, don't look, don't go. The snakes and the reptile, the lizards gonna beat you there. What was he trying to say? Where's the only place that nothing or nobody is gonna beat the return of Christ? Right where you stand, beloved, because it's the return of Christ is within you. Just like it said 100 times, the kingdom, they said the kingdom, but it's the realm or the condition of heaven, the existence, the experience of heaven is within. Therefore, where is the Christ? He even said that. I abide in you, you abide in I, and we abide in the origin of eternal life. That means you're you and I'm me, but I'm in you and you're in me, and we are actually both in the same thing together. Meaning we ain't even really disconnected. But you're still you and I'm still me, but I'm in you and you're in me. Excuse me, in I. That's what he said. One shall come. He said, you all shall do greater things. Where's the greater things? Everybody sitting on their couch waiting. Going to church, the circus. That's what this really comes from. Kirk, Circe, circus, the circle. Going to the circle every day, which is the womb, actually. It says in their book, the seed of the mother shall fatally bruise the head of the serpent. The seed of the mother. It don't say the father's son is coming and gonna get you. No, that's at the end after the Romans hijacked all type of different scrolls and the Symbolism priestess scrolls that they turned into the apocalypse of Jesus Christ, which in Greek is a poke of the lips, the he so which riseth to, saying if you don't get the poke at the end of the age or the end in Christ, where the end of the aeon, if you don't get the poke, you not wake up, arise, time to rise, wake up. Excuse me, but I'm trying to get my point across. If you don't get that poke, you're gonna get some kind of poke. You're either gonna get a poke of the lips with love, or you're gonna get a poke of the lips with lust. You're gonna get a poke either way. But is he or she gonna rise too? That's what the whole mythos is about. What's higher than enlightenment? Inspiration. Enlightenment's your first eye. Inspiration is the spiral, the crown of the great mother. The Fibonacci spiral right there on the screen right here. The spiral of life. That's the crown. That's the zodiac. That's how the sun moves through the 48 constellations. It goes from the Argo to the Crux. The crux is the return of the Nibiru, the crossing, Nebharu, the return of the mark on the forehead, sealed on the forehead. Yeah, you're gonna be sealed by somebody. You're either gonna be sealed by Marduk, the Doge, the Duke, Elon Musk with the Neuralink. Because just because you got that don't mean that you're stuck in time already. They gotta seal that forehead. They gotta seal you off. If you took that, you got the infrastructure in you. You literally have wires in you right now. I'm not gonna say what I really what really is on my heart to say, because this video will get banned if I say really what's placed on my heart about that situation. This video gets taken down immediately. So that's why I gotta start doing like Zoom calls and things like that. And ultimately, we're getting ready to go to a physical location. I can't tell you exactly when, because it's all when the Great Mother, when it's needed. Right now, if it hasn't happened, we're needed across the energetic grid to spread the organic, the origin, the origine energy. If you're already remembered, now it's the moment to repair you and then others. That's removing the plank out of your eye so you can move the splinter out of your brother's eye. Remember who you are. Remember what you are. Remember why you're here. Then repair you, and then go out and repair others. That's it. That's the whole thing right there. Man, I didn't even once again, I did not even get into the teaching that I had planned. But the Great Spirit, all praise to the greatest of spirit, to the womb of creation, to the origin of eternal soul, life, light, and rest, to the authority of the true Christ, Christos, the true anointed ones, okay, that you have authority over all things in this realm. You're above the God of this world, by far. You're above all these religions. You already know. They got you by fear mongering. The whole thing, fear mongering. Okay? You're past that now. You're past that. You're past that. No fear. Fear none. Fear none. Fear none. You're past that now. Now it's time to operate authenticity first, but more strongly, authentic love. Don't just go around loving light. Oh, yes, loving light, loving light. Now, if that's who you are, then cool. That's authentic. I dig it. But don't just hop on the gravy train, because there's 300,000 people now, and they're all in the comments, and they all agree. Oh, I did like Chief until. What? Until what? Are we making a chain where we have one point of agreement where we connect the chain and link all the way across the realm? Are we trying to weld a whole metal piece on top to where we're in full agreement with everything? That don't make a chain going across. That makes the Tower of Babel. Now, if we got to agree on every little thing, now we're just welding pieces of circular metal on top of each other, and we're going up. The Most High, Satan. You ain't going nowhere. You're going to the dome. Carnal-minded thinking. No ledge. You're just going up. Or we can create that small little point where we do agree and connect. And I connect to her. And she connects to him. And he connects to him. And he connects to her. and we hold hands and we connect. My whole body don't have to be laying on top of you. We don't have to sleep together for us to connect. We can hold hands. That's one piece of I touching your piece in agreement. What's up? What's happening, my dude? Give me a hug. I don't have to get on top of you, kiss you in your mouth, and have my face smushed on your face and my whole body smushed on your body, my legs on your legs, my arms on your arms. That's what people are trying to do. And they're following the people that are doing that through YouTubers who are doing it now solely for money. This is not the real world. We this, that, the other. You know, you're in a dream. You're in a game. But send me that money though. Let me run these commercials on this YouTube. Let me tell you everything from this dream world out of all these books. But because the books aren't a dream. These aren't dreams. This is real. Somebody wrote it. So, like, prove it. Prove it. Prove to me what you're saying, Chief. Prove me. Matter of fact, prove that you're a chief. I want to see your DNA. 23 and me. Yeah, 23 and you. There's so much I want to say, but due to recent events, I got like a choker on, like how a choker is on an engine, how you got a choker on an engine. I'm refraining from saying certain things because I know they're not about an individual, but people always I already know they're going to assume that I'm attacking someone when I am just giving out broad information and knowledge. But I'm going to refrain from saying what I want to say. As a matter of fact, I'll do it. I'll meditate on it and I'll do a whole teaching about it. But I'm going to show you what certain events are that people are saying. A lot of people are saying there's like cyclical events and everything. I'm going to show you what each one really truly is. I'm going to break it all the way down so you get it. Okay? Because a piece of paper showing you a piece of paper, that doesn't mean anything unless you can truly explain it. How? What's the how? What's the how? How is this happening? I can explain that to you. I can show you how. I can show you how it's happening. I can show you what it is. Or I can tell you, and by telling you, it will show you. Okay? But anyway, that's about 2.5 hours. Man, I got so much I want to give y'all. I really do. I have like so much that I want to give. And I just want to, but I have to remain true to and I always tell you, I'm only here as a conduit for the greatest of spirit. So I cannot get on here and stick to some script. So yeah, you saw the title, Anunnaki, this and that. I had planned on reading some stuff, showing you some new findings, getting into the tablets, really telling you the truth about the Anunnaki and our DNA and what's going on with that, who they truly are, what's really going on with our DNA. I guess that's just gonna have to be on the next one because what was meant to be said here this evening was meant to be said. All right. I seen a question. Chief, can you touch on where Atlantis went when it rose into the sky sometime soon, please? Thank you. I can tell you briefly now. It's what the Christians call the rapture. So what happens is during the real changeover, there's a change, like I said earlier. Every end of the age is fire, water, neutral. Fire, water, neutral. That's every age. That's not every just 12,000 years. Okay. At the end of every aeon, the age of Pisces was the neutral one. That's when all these Christ figures came: Buddha, Krishna, Emmanuel, whether they're myths or whatever. That's when they came. So that was more of a neutral changeover. That's why a lot of the tribe of Aries, aka JEWS, made it through, and they combined with the age of Pisces rulers, aka the Cathode, the Catholic Church. Okay. And that's who are called Jesuits. The JEWS, the tribe of Aries that ruled the age of Aries, that made it through the neutral changeover. See, what they had to do to remain in power in the age of Pisces, all they had to do was distort the message of what took place, what manifested. And what manifested was the seeds of the mother coming out in every land, and were enlightening the people freely, what only the mystery schools had. Only the mystery schools had it, and you got these people out here, they don't know who they are. This dude's born in a barn somewhere. How does he know our mysteries? Find out who he is. Like, who is this dude? And it didn't just happen in Jerusalem and Nazareth and all that. It happened all over. Okay. But so what the neutral changeover from the age of Aries to Pisces was them manipulating books. That was how they had to, that's why they had the Council of Nicaea and all that, because they had to somehow intertwine the scrolls that already existed, aka the Old Testament, and intertwine all these beings, particularly in their region, Emmanuel. They had to intertwine it somehow, and they had a meeting of 400 of the highest minded individuals. And they came up with, to stitch this story together and say, look, say he came from this God, Yahuwah, Yahweh, and he was like the sacrifice. So then, like, even the ones that murder him, we get off because we're sinners. He's perfect. He gets credit. All you got to do is believe in the story that we're making up, and the murderers get off scot-free, and we even get eternal life. And they don't have to change neither. And now they'll vote for me too to be the king. Man, we're killing like 7 birds with 1 stone with this book. Genius. Full masculine left brain energy right there. That's what happened. They distorted the true mythos. Mythos don't necessarily mean it was fake. It means you weren't there, so you don't know. That's why we use the word mythos. But it can still be used to inspire, which is higher than enlightenment. See, religion is meant to stop you from even getting to enlightenment. Religion is like a, the first one, not the mRNA. Religion is to give you a little bit of the real thing, just enough to stop you from getting the real thing. So they'll put a little bit of the virus or the bacteria in you to make antibodies or antichrist in you that would stop you from getting the real Christ. Okay? That's just an inverted way of saying it. Because they tell you that's for dis-ease, but really it's for the ease. It's the opposite. The religion is to stop you from getting the full ease. They inject you with a little bit of the ease, and your spiritual body creates anti-ease, creates dis-ease to push away the full-on real spirituality. So nope. Jesus Christ is Lord. No way. Nope. He's coming back. I know him. I had a dream. I went there. I seen him. I seen these little kids. They saw him. His face like a sun. His feet is black. He's a black man. He's got white woolly hair. Yep, says right in that good book, Living Word of God, the inerrant Word of God, unchanged and everlasting. That's the living book. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. No, it's basic instructions before leaving ego. Okay. So religion is so you can remain with your ego and think you're going to heaven. How can your ego go to heaven? Based off of one person, because they elevated themselves beyond their ego into their higher, they remembered into their higher self. Try to get everyone else to remember and inspire. Okay. Others wrote the story and the mythos about it to inspire. So the transition from Age of Pisces was them hijacking the story to stop you from getting the real thing. That's why I know greater things are being done. You all shall do greater things. Where? You can't even heal yourself. You got to take Motrin if you got a headache. Not knowing you got the tiger's paw right here, a chakra right here. It's called the tiger's paw that you can massage. Go directly through your nerve, straight to your headache. But a headache can also be an underlying cause of something else. A headache is a symptom. It's a symptom. But there's ways. Right here. Tiger's paw. Tiger's claw. Massage it right there. You have a chakra right here. One of the 144. Massage that right there. No, okay. That can't be true. Well, you just made it not true because you didn't give your authority to it. You got to know that it works. I'm telling you. I know. Okay. You all shall do greater things. Where's the greater things? Because you got you not you, beloved. Well, actually, yeah, most of you and I went through it, but y'all coming out of it. You have come out of it. But most people, the masses, they're stuck. That's why they're not doing greater things. Their greater things is their paycheck, paying the bills. I'm keeping a roof over my head. That's all that counts, man. I just want to take care of my family. Whatever. If I'm a slave, I'm a slave. Plus, we're the real Hebrew Israelites, and we're being punished because we're under 400 years of slavery again for the past 20,000 years. For some reason, we keep getting under this 400 years slavery contract. That's how you know we're the real Hebrew Israelites. Because we're at the bottom. What? He promised you the land flowing with milk and honey. Real Hebrew Israelite. Well, see, we had to follow the commandments. You couldn't follow the commandments because he said, thou shalt not murder. And then said, go murder everything in moving breath with spirit in 60 cities. He got you. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. What is damned? Damned is stopping the waters of the Great Mother. When you dam something, you stop the waters, the living waters of the Great Mother from flowing. You're damned. That's cutting the umbilical cord. You're damned. Eternal damnation. You have a dam that is cutting you off from the greatest of spirit flowing, the waters of life. That's what the word damned means. But Atlantis, it's the same thing as the rapture. that was unveiled by a 33-degree Freemason named William Darby in 1838. William Joseph Darby, I believe. William Henry Darby. William Darby. He is a 33-degree Freemason. He unveiled it, and basically they try to say it's the word harpazo in the Bible. It's not. It's not the rapture. The rapture is when it is in the book of Revelation, though. It says when the four angels hold the winds for about 30 minutes. They're talking about the during the pole shift, all energy gets shut off. So it's dielectric. It's dielectric. It's the emptiness. There's no energy moving. That means anything. So in today's science, they would say there's no gravity. What happens is the dome is open. Okay. The all-seeing eye now. Okay. It opens. It's just a little lens. It's just a small little lens. It opens for the pole star light to come in. All right. That's when the sun takes off its mask, and it's the black, and you see the black sun, and it's got a blue circle. Because we're heading to what's called the abomination of desolation, the one by fire, not by water. It's the blue sun. The one by water is the big old red sun they call in the beer brew. And that's on the outer banks. That's on what they call the South Pole by the ice wall. Okay. That's Australia, and them see that more than anybody. And those like that are on the equator. But people in the northern hemisphere really don't see it like that. The people in the northern hemisphere are going to see this more. Like people in Australia are probably barely going to see it. But for a period of about 30 minutes, everything that's not tied down or anchored in good to roots onto the plane of inertia, you're gonna float. You're gonna float up, and you will get sucked out of that dome. Where are you going? You're going into the bottom of another ocean. You're going into the bottom. You're getting sucked up into the bottom of another ocean. So you're just gonna drown, basically. Or if you don't make it up within about 30 minutes, you're just gonna drop. When the pole shift happens, you're just gonna fall like you jumped out of a plane. You're just gonna hit the deck. That's why it says all the rocks and 30-pound hailstones. 80-pound hailstones gonna be falling stuff. That's everything that went up during the 30-minute period, and then it all just comes down. It all just starts hitting everything. Okay, along with plasma. The main thing is the plasma, which is lightning on steroids. The plasma is like lightning times 1,000. It's gonna melt every city. That's why you don't see no cities. The only remains are things that are all blocks, stone, and even they get melted. Like the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is a whole civilization. You can see it's huge, huge city in the Grand Canyon. It got melted, but it was made with stone, so a lot of them probably survived. Okay, but the cities like New York and all that, what you think they never made cities out of metal? Copper Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age. Come on, think, McFly. You think they wasn't building structures with metal? There's none left because they melt. Every third age. But then when you come to the clock striking 12, whether it's high noon and it's the fire one, or it's midnight and that flood, that storm, that midnight storm coming, that's the winter solstice, the midnight one, the flood, the red sun, or the high noon, the summer solstice one that is coming up on us, the abomination of desolation, where the sun does not start heading back towards the tropic of what they tell you, the tropic of Capricorn, which is not. It's the tropic of Scorpio now. They're still giving you the cosmology of the age of Aries to throw you off as well. It's not the tropic of Cancer and the tropic of Capricorn anymore. That has shifted. They never updated it during the age of Pisces. But so when this happens, that's what happened to Atlantis. So if you know about Saturn, this is where these beings came from. That was the original bowl, their creator. Their energy is 369. That's their natural energy. How ours is the phi. Their natural crater is a crater in a crater in a crater. That's the three rings. It's where it comes from. Okay. When they came here, they Terra formed our crater into their old home, Atlantis. So that Atlantis was Saturn 2.0, a crater and a crater and a crater. But they did. So if you look it up right now, it'll tell you that Saturn, even NASA, see, they tell you lies with little truth. They'll tell you Saturn is the only planet in our solar system that is actually so light that it will, if it was here on our oceans, it will float on our water. I know they say lead, it's associated with the element lead, and lead is heavy and all. That's alchemy. Okay, that's alchemy. They said Saturn is so light that if it were here in our oceans, it will float. That's what they did, beloved. They used, that's how you think they made the Great Pyramids and all that. They used 369 technology. That's why Tesla said, if you know the secrets of 369, you can basically do whatever you want here. They levitated these blocks and things using the 369 Saturnic energy. So when they created Atlantis before the pyramids, they used this technology to create a crater and a crater and a crater. So it was so light when the Rapture, or when the toroidal field got shut off at the changeover, the last changeover, the big, when I say this, when I need to start correcting my words on that, because changeover is actually every age. When the pole shift happened, when Atlantis sunk in the waters, it sunk in the waters all right, but it was so buoyant, floating on our waters, it literally floated up, and it's up there. It's in the waters above. And when the plasma comes, it literally lights it up, and you can see it. And it creates the menorah. The menorah is just the three rings of Saturn. And half of it's down here, half of it's up there. So we see half of it, and then it stops, and then the other half's upside down, and that's Atlantis. You're seeing the reflection down here. You're seeing the real half of it up there, but you're seeing the rest of it, the reflection down here in the plasma. That's where the menorah comes from. And it's alignment of all the planets. On the right is all the feminine planets or energies. On the left is all the masculine planets or energies on the menorah. Okay, this is a fact. I'll try to get into it next teaching. But yeah, that answers that question. Let me see. I'm trying to get better answering questions on here, y'all. I even put Q&A the other day and answered like 2 questions. Very long-winded. Somebody said, keep going. Appreciate that, energy saver. Gratitude. Eternal gratitude. Yeah. It is all ancient property. See, these beings that we're dealing with, who in the most basic sense, we just call them blue bloods, not aliens, not this, not that, because they're humanoid. They are humanoid. They mix with technology, which allows them to vibrate at a vibration that we can only do through love. They skip that. So now they can vibrate, meaning they can literally shapeshift and do things from technology without having the love energy and the feminine energy. So they cheated. that is cutting the umbilical cord of the Great Spirit. They said, we don't need you, Great Spirit. I'm going to rise up and be like the Most High. The 9, the feminine, the Great Mother. Okay? That's Satan, Satan, Saturn, time, man made in his image, 10 fingers, 10, everything is 10, you count by 10s, money is 5s and 10s, it's so this flesh suit, it says in the Bible, they unveil truths, but it's lie-centric. You know how like geocentric means Earth is in the middle and everything else goes around Earth. Heliocentric means the sun is in the middle and everything's going around the sun. Well, what they do is be living. They get you to be live in something. Then they even like put the carrot on a string and say, those who have not seen but still believe shall be blessed. Yeah, they just told you the truth. You're just not listening. You don't have the ears to hear. Those who have not seen but be live shall be blessed. Or baraka. Abaraka. If we slow abracadabra down, it's ab raka, baraka, ka baraka. So it's ab baraka, ka baraka. That's soul be less, spirit be less. Soul bend the knee, spirit bend the knee. Every knee shall bow. You really think the true Christ? The true Christ is in you. Do you? Is your will to go out in these streets when you ride wherever? When you get out of your car at the gas station, do you look around and you love everyone, but your will is that every knee shall bow when you get out the car at the gas station, just for a second. You ain't gonna hurt them or nothing, but show some respect and bow your knee. That's what the word blessing means. Baraka. There's teachers online, that say it all the time. It's even become some teachers like slogan. Baraka, baraka, baraka. That's abracadabra. You might as well just say the whole thing. Abracadabra. The whole thing means what I say will come to pass. That's what abracadabra means. But the baraka means to bend your soul, and ka baraka means to bend your spirit. And Ra in the Phoenician language meant evil, or Hebrew, the old Hebrew. Ra, the word Ra means evil. So how would you even with common sense think that baraka, ba soul, Ra evil, ka spirit? Bend your soul and spirit to the evil one, the God of this world. That fake sun that you, it's not fake, but it's not what they're telling you. It's an intersection. I've already went into this many different occasions. It's the triple black seed of the mother, the black sun, okay, sapphire. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all know about these. These protect you from all 5G radiation, all EMF, all 5G towers. It's so strong. It has 4 different crystals in it and a sapphire and one other thing. And it's so strong, you don't know if something's a gimmick until you try it out. So I ordered 2. I wanted to, want is a won't, so I don't want to say that, but I desired to get one for each of my immediate family, but I didn't have the Mooney. So I grabbed 2, and my plan was like, okay, if they work, we'll like switch off, we'll like rotate them. Well, let me tell you how strong this is. When I got in my truck, it won't even allow me to connect my Bluetooth. It interferes the Bluetooth. My phone is right there. Normally it automatically connects. Since I've had this, my Bluetooth won't even connect from my phone. That's how much. What it does, it amplifies your natural toroid field. So if you're already operating with the little raising toroid field, you walking around here all angry and mad, and you're the chosen people and this and that, and you're the chosen one. Everybody else is gonna die. The white man, this, that, the other. You're not organic. You're not indigenous. You're not native. This is newsflash. Ain't none of y'all all the way the original anymore. The original avatar. No one. It's been scientifically proven. They took the 3 most indigenous tribes in the continent of Africa. I was going to get into it this evening. And did the most intensive DNA study and found out that even they still only got 90% of the original DNA. So even these tribes that is still never wore clothes like this or nothing, no electricity, nothing, they still ain't got the original. So what make you think you over here in America riding around listening to Kendrick Lamar, blasting your music, smoking weed that's not even weed no more, popping pills, this and that, have multiple sex partners, different baby moms and everything, but you're from the tribe of Judah. Come on, man, get real. Most people can't even name their great grandmother's maiden name. And if you can do that, then tell me, then go down 7 generations. Tell me 7 generations from your great grandmom's maiden name. You can't. Because you was indoctrinated by a book that said so-and-so beget so-and-so beget so-and-so. It followed the sperm. You know why? Because that was the hijack. They are following their chosen people. The ones that hijacked the realm. That's what they following. The blue bloods. That's what that's about. That's not you, beloved. Snap out of it. And I hope you do it before this was coming. Because if not, no, you ain't gonna burn in hell, but you finna be back. When you supposed to be going, I don't want to say up because that's not accurate either. You're supposed to be going to the next place, not staying here. I mean, it's here, but it's not here. You know what I'm trying to say. Let me look through here. Appreciate that, Greens Group. Yeah, I know. The only thing I don't want to fall into the group addressing Brother John about speaking freely. The only way I'll be able to speak freely is if I go behind a paywall. And like I'm gonna be real with you. The Great Spirit makes sure that everything that is needed is here. Okay, so I don't look to money to be my gauge on how well I'm doing, or if that is we got everything we need. Okay, I don't do that. All right, but what I will say is I don't have commercials on here. I could easily make a covenant with this beast and have run commercials on here. I could easily start charging putting certain videos and teachings behind paywalls and this and that. It's not in our. I just can't. I can't even make myself, for real. I just can't. It's just I've gotten to a point where I just can't. I cannot go against the Great Spirit. And when I do, I instantly will what's called repent. That means confess it and then go the opposite, like fix it, go and sin no more. Go and do that no more. But that's really the only way that I can speak freely unless we can start organizing some Zoom calls. But with like 300 people in here, that's a pretty big Zoom call. You know what I mean? So I'm open for any ideas, but I will be honest, like, I don't want to say the money is needed, but everyone that does contribute financially, it's always like perfect. Like, it's always just like, boom. It's never like I'm just sitting here watching it stack up like, yeah, oh yeah, I hit big this teaching. Like, it's not like that. Like I said before, I go a week or two without sometimes looking, because I know the Great Spirit. I know when I go to the grocery store, that I'm not a glutton. So I know that I'm like, it's going to be okay. And, but I will share something with you. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to share any names, but there actually is one person. I appreciate everyone who does donate, because everyone is in different situations. But I'm going to be honest with you. There's one person who, I'm not even going to say whether it's a woman or a man, but this person is almost single-handedly keeping this afloat, allowing I to keep doing this. Without this one person, I wouldn't be able to do this, y'all. I'm serious. And that's the Great Spirit working through that person. And I tell this person every occasion, like, without this person doing what this person has done, I wouldn't be able to do this. I would just end up going to the off-grid community, because that's already, like I told you, that's already been confirmed by the Great Spirit. It's already, like, it's already done. It's just playing out now. But so that's a done deal. The only thing that's going to come after that is getting in contact with those who are meant to actually come. You might be in Australia and it might be meant for you to come. Is it going to be meant for everyone? No. But if you're in alignment, you're going to be all right regardless. But, like, I'm pretty sure you can feel who I am. Like, I'm not going to be, like, shutting doors. Now I will. Basically, the Great Spirit going to lead and confirm and everything, like who's supposed to be there and who's not, And if you're in alignment, you'll know as well, So that's how, by the moment we get there, you'll know. And I'll know. Let me see. Yeah, energy saver. I agree. There's a difference between soulful and spiritual. So spiritual is a good thing, but spirit is the emanation of the soul. So people can come off as spiritual, and you can even kind of like learn some things, but they're the ones that it's just something is off. It's the ones that, like, they're saying some good things. Like, I can name some names right now, but I'm not going to do that. But they're saying some good things, but the way they're operating, something's off. That's usually how you can tell the ones that are basically just like spirits. And that just means they're animated. They have spirit, but they don't have that triple black seed of the mother that is actually creating the spirit. They are a created spirit. Okay. It's almost like an archetype. I'm just skimming through real quick and then we'll probably wrap it up unless I get. I love you too, Sister Kim. Appreciate all of you. That's right, Jeeps. It's you. There's many ways to articulate it. So what Jeeps said is the flip ring changeover. So someone asked me last week, I believe. They said someone told them like that the pole star is like a AI projection, and that's what projects the hologram into this virtual reality and this and that. And the way it was said, it's like it's not really wrong. It's just a different way of perceiving it. So you're just explaining it almost in a different language. That's all. But you just gotta be careful when you start fully buying into these doctrines, because it will become your new religion and you won't even know it. And all religions are idolatry. So that's the issue I have. I don't have an issue with anyone teaching or giving their perception and explaining things in a certain way. You know, like, so the way that they said it, I forget exactly how it was worded. It was accurate about the pole star and the white light and everything. It's pretty much the same thing I say about the black sun coming up that vibrates all rays, not just a visible ray of light that has 7 lights. That's one part of the rays. The black is a vibe. The black sun is the mother that releases the vibration that has every ray. And it goes out like this. It goes through all. And the pole star only shines 23.5 degrees this way, 23.5 degrees this way. That's your sun and your moon. So when the black sun vibration hits this particular wait, this camera messes me up. Hits this particular one, the pole stars is shining white light this way. The black sun vibration intersects right here with the infrared vibration. You have the reflection of down here that we call the sun. You just can't see it's a reflection because it's too bright for your dye vision, your physical eyes. So you can't see that it's actually just it's actually reflecting the energy from the earth energy, the heart. So on the opposite side is the moon. The moon is so the infrared is low, long waves. Okay. And the moon actually vibrates higher. The moon is the X-ray. So that's the intersection of the black, what we call the black sun. It's really just like a black hole that where all light comes out, all light returns. It goes this way and it intersects with the light of the white light of the pole star, but it's on the X-ray and it manifests as the moon. And because of the lens that we call what Brother Jeeps called the flip ring, that's the all-seeing eye. It's a lens. Okay. What that does is it only can, just like how your eye can only look so far this way and so far that way. That's the same thing as that all-seeing eye lens up there. It can only go this way, 23.5 degrees, this way. It's 47 degrees. That's why Aleister Crowley said 11 is the most sacred number in magic. 11. All right. It's 47. That's the all-seeing eye number, 11. Okay. That's above, say, 10. Okay. It's the eye, the all-seeing eye. It's the demiurge. It's the one that demerges the light, scatters it. That's what demiurge means, to demerge. We're supposed to re-merge. We're meant to converge, not diverge. That's what we're in the process of doing now. You know how they came out with the movie Divergent, and like the Divergent was like the good people and stuff. No, see how they flipped it? Convergent is really supposed to be, that's the ones that become in whole. The lights are, it's unity, unifying. Instead of separation, the 7 rations to the 7 Elohim, which is led by Saturn, and the other 6 visible lights. Because Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, first of all, Pluto is Gaga in the Sumerian tablets, which is the moon of Saturn. Okay. That also has to do with the what is now being known as the Phoenix event. So Pluto is not seen by the naked eye. Uranus is not seen by the naked eye, and Neptune is not seen by the naked eye. Only in very rare circumstances. But that's the Ennead. That's the 9. Okay. So the Vedics, the Hindus been known that. They've been knew the Ennead, the 9. It's the name is actually the I don't want to mispronounce. It's like Nagaski. It's not Nagashi or something. Basically means the 9 lights. So, and this was 4000 BC. So there was no Zodiac. How did the Hindus know that there was 9 lights? That's the Ennead. The Ogdoad is the 8. That's only up to Uranus. That's the one the Greeks was working with. Okay. Until Homer and Plato traveled to Babylon around 450 BC, I believe. And they found out all this information from Babylon. They came back, and now Uranus was now the name of heaven. It became the Greek name of heaven because they figured, hey, this is the only light we can't see with the visible eye. Uranus must be the actual where the heaven begins, and it's not actually on the bigger Earth. All right, that the Greeks called Sophia, and our crater is Gaia. Okay, and Sophia is not the Great Mother. Just for you, anything with a name is not the Great Mother. Just want to let you know that. Isis, Ishtar, Inanna, Sophia, Eve, all of that. TT, Ninma, Ninki, none of them. None of that. That's all. I don't want to say hogwash and disrespect anyone. Lakshmi, none of that is the Great Mother. Okay, it's archetypes of the lights above. So that's 3 hours, y'all. Prairie Go Mama, I preach. First of all, I want to say eternal gratitude. You're awesome. As well as Brother Rick. I didn't see Brother Rick in here this evening. Prairie Goat Mama said, is that the city in the sky, the New Jerusalem mentioned in Revelation? Okay. Real quick, because my buttocks is hurting from sitting here. The New Jerusalem is not Atlantis. If you're referring to is that Atlantis, no. New Jerusalem is being made. It's being manifested now. What it is what I showed you earlier. Let me show you real quick, and then we'll end with this. unless I see like any other questions that catch my eye. She using the potty? I'm great. I'm almost done. Tell her I'm coming. Give her iPad. All right, tell her I'm coming. Yeah, see, they don't want you to know the truth, man. They do not want you to know the truth. So the best I can do is kind of like what I did earlier. All right, so you see this, right? The 3, 6, 9. And then I told you that they have -3, -6, -9, and one is spinning clockwise, and then one is spinning counterclockwise. That creates what's called a Merkaba. Okay, so what that is that's New Jerusalem. It's described as a cube because they're describing it on first of all a 2D book, and then they're describing it in a 3-dimensional way. 1,500 miles this way, 1,500 miles this way, and the breadth and the width and the length and all that. But in a 4-dimensional, energetic, sacred, geometric way, it's a Merkaba vessel. It's the pyramid up and the pyramid. It's the Star of David. It's what it is. What they tell you, Star of David, Star of Remphan, Star of whatever. You know, the Star of the JEWS. That's what it is. And one spinning one way, the other spinning the other way, and it creates a Merkaba vessel. That is going to come down, but from below, it looks like a cube. It's going to come down because when it's spinning, there's only one little point that sticks out on the bottom part and one little point that sticks out on the top, right? The rest is a square. It looks like a square because they're intersecting, and it's a cube. But there's a little itty bitty triangle on top and a little itty bitty triangle on the bottom. Okay, so it's coming down like a bride adorned for her husband, like a bride. It's not the bride, it's like a bride. So it means it's gonna be beautiful. Oh man, look, oh wow. It's a Merkaba. We can make Merkabas ourselves. It's just a vessel to travel in the astral realm and in spiritual realm and stuff. That's quantum stuff. You can't get earthly things. I'm not going to get into heavenly things. That's pointless. So that's why I try to give you things that are useful. But in the simplest form, we can create Merkabas ourselves without the negative part. Okay, we can do it with the fee. And the 3, 6, 9, just not the -3. We don't need the counter rotating. Okay, we can actually create it with love, with positive, authentic love. But what will happen is you have to remain in there, centered. Your soul is creating it. So what they're talking about, New Jerusalem, is Heru Salem. Heru is Horus. It's where Heru is where the Greeks got the word Chiro. And the word Chiro was changed to Christos in the Latin. And in English is Christ. So you go from Christ to Christos to Chiro to Hero to Heru. Actually, it was Horus and then Heru. So Jerusalem is Heru Salem. Remember the Salem witch hunt and all that kind of stuff? Salem. Shalom. No, Shalom is peace, not Salem. They tell you the house of peace. The house of bread, this and that. No. Nope. So look, the house of Selim, right? Sail, the house of Heru Salem, all right? The ark, the boat, the sailboat, the Argo. It starts all over again. It's the whole cycle starting over again. The Eden, that's what the Eden is. It's a Merkaba that has no being inside of it creating it. It's an empty Merkaba that's made from external. It's made from eternal beings, energy, externally by what you would call Yahweh or the God of this world, or Satan, Yahweh, Enlil, the God of the air, all of that. The El eats. Okay. Enlil's real name in the tablets is Ellel, not Enlil. It's Ellel. The Akkadians changed it to Enlil. It's Ellel. Okay. Anu's name is El Elyon, and Enlil's name is El Lel. So Yahweh or Enlil, LL, is making this Merkaba externally. That means there's no soul in it. But this is the trick. Those that make it through the changeover, they have this art. This is their plan, like, to restart the whole cycle. They got this essentially AI, artificial technology, that's actually not artificial because it's made by soul force energy. It's just not them. They're using us, not us, but people that have souls to manifest this, because through Ra Legion, they believe New Jerusalem is coming like a bride adorned for her husband, and this is supposed to be heaven on earth. You got Hebrew Israelites on the corner talking about it and stuff, that it's coming, and they're going to be in here. The rest of the world's going to be chaos and zombie land, zombie apocalypse, and they're going to be in some golden city with concubines. The Muslims believe there's going to be 72 virgins, little girls, and the Hebrews believe that all the Gentile nation women, the Chinese, the white women, anybody that's not quote unquote dark brown skin or dark skin, is going to be their concubines in this new Heru Salem. Okay, it's a Merkaba vessel where souls will be able to go in with free will, and it's a battery. It's a soul battery for the next, because when it comes, all the parasites got to go underground, because the one by fire, they go underground, one by water, they go under the ocean. They're going to go underground, but they need something to give them energy. That's how they're going to do it. They're going to have souls in this Eden, this Merkaba, New Jerusalem, and it's going to give them the energy to stay alive during the time of no sun, no night. It's just because there's no sun doesn't mean there's no light. It's just that we're shining so bright, and it's also has to do with the lens and all that. That whole nother teaching. My daughter needs me, y'all. I gotta go. I love y'all so much. If it's placed on your heart to send a little something, eternal gratitude, even if it's just you sending it into the aether, eternal gratitude. This is a privilege, and we share the honor. Much love to all of you, and as always, Mësët.